McDonald's and the CDC both confirming that they're investigating two ingredients in the fast food chain's Quarter Pounder: slivered onions and beef patties. Many signs point to the onions, and in its initial statement, McDonald's says the outbreak was likely related to the onions and not the beef. On Twitter, one food safety expert noted that McDonald's policy is to cook beef patties to 170 degrees, with 160 degrees being the so-called kill temp for E. coli, although the bacteria has survived higher temperatures in certain cases. McDonald's says that the potentially affected onions came from one company that supplies 3 distribution centers. And 9 News reporter Lawrence Cafidi visited with the National Onion Association today in Eaton, Colorado. What'd you find out?
Yeah, well, the National Onion Association has the same questions that we do, Tom. Where is the beef and these onions coming from? And during what process did they become affected with E. coli? The National Onion Association says it's hard to know since the ingredients touch a few hands before they get to their final destination. The E. coli outbreak linked to the McDonald's Quarter Pounder has a lot of layers.
It may or may not be the onions. It may or may not be the beef. We just don't know.
Everyone is waiting for answers from the FDA, like Greg Yielding, with what's called the National Onion Association.
Well, they'll say, is that a thing?
Sure is. Been around since 1913.
The National Onion Association represents onion growers, shippers, and packers all across the country.
They've come up with a food safety plan for growers, shippers, and packers, like using clean water, a dry place for storage, and more. But once the onions are shipped, it's out of their hands.
Onions are pretty safe anyway because of the skin that's on the onions. So until they get to the shipper packer when the skin's still there, and then the shipper packer ships them out in bags, then they go and they might be processed in various places. And then that's about as far as we go. And then there's a whole nother set of rules and best practices for those people.
Yielding says when it comes to the onions you're buying from the store, no matter how you slice it, you're safe because the issues would be more widespread.
If that was the case, then people would be getting sick that way.
Questions still linger about what's at the root of the McDonald's E. coli outbreak.
No one wants to get anybody sick, and no one wants to, deal with the repercussions of that.
We've been keeping an eye out, but we haven't received any new numbers as of today. We're still looking at 49 cases total across 10 states. 26 of those are in Colorado. 1 person died. 10 people total were sent to the hospital.
Still follow this story because I'm sure there's more to come on this one. Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah.